Okay, so we're all good outside the barn, but we gotta head in here and check on chickens. So we closed the other side of the barn up earlier. I'm gonna leave the door open behind me for now because the dogs are still out there. So we basically have 2 brooder spaces, and this is one thing we knew was gonna need done. So we need to change the light bulbs out here.
Meat chickens. They're like, look how warm they are.
Yeah, so we'll get that one plugged in too, but this is why it's imperative to get these. So we've got a heat lamp there out and a heat lamp there out. And the way these birds here are all piling in under this heat lamp, that's why it's imperative that we're getting these changed. So there's that lamp itself is unplugged, and Jared just took the shield off, and it's facing away from us, but that's okay. It's just a bulb that unscrews from there. And we just want to be careful setting things down. And so then just screw the other one back in. Again, that heat lamp is unplugged while we're swapping the lamp out, the bulb out. Okay, and there's that shield, and we recommend keeping those in place. So Jared's got that one lit back up, and then he'll get them plugged in. Yeah, and they're both going to that one. I feel like it's like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with the cords, like, and the lights, but we gotta have the heat lamp. So Jared will like encourage them to get up and move, and then with having those additional 2 lamps lit back up, they'll spread out and utilize all those lamps. So, and that's basically what we see back there, is that they've got more lamps back there, so they're spreading out around there. So, we just want to get them. We might even take like an empty feed sack potentially and get those birds to all at least get up. So also looking in there, we're gonna add feed into that middle feeder. We've got the feeder in the corner and this feeder, and they're all holding enough feed the birds can get to it. From where I'm seeing it, I can see both the waters. Those are good shape. We've got water in the trays. And then we've got a group over here of meat birds. Same thing here. Basically, late night check. We're assessing the brooder space, that the heat lamps are helping the birds. Jared's adding feed in there. I think those feeders hold about 40 pounds total. So he's making his way over to the middle one. And that's what we really appreciate about these bigger feeders. You can just pour the feed right in. And it holds so much more than the birds were in these feeders. And there's the feeders with the lids on. So obviously those big feeders, they hold so much more, and there's less stuff on the floor of the brooder itself. So it's pouring more into that one. So again, over here, like, we're just assessing, are the birds doing well in the brooder space? How are they interacting with the lights? Are they using all the lights? Are all the heat lamps on? Do they have food? Do they have water? And what are they looking like? I think actually in this pen, we'll lower the heat lamps 1 or 2 lengths. So close you can't see that. So recap on the birds and the ages. This group of meat birds, there's 75 of them. These are Cornish rock cross meat chickens. There's 75 of them in this group. They were hatched March 5th, 2025, and this is March 21st, 2025. So you can run the numbers. Start with day 1 on the 5th, day 5 on the 5th to the 21st. That's however many days they are. And then this group, there's like 225 of these birds, of the meat birds. And in addition to them, you can see some darker fluffed ones. Like there's one of the egg production pullets, and there's some more spread throughout there. There's 19 that are egg production breeds in there amongst the 225. So right now you're getting the skewed coloring from the heat lamps because we have the barn closed. But the birds will spread out amongst the resources. And so like Jared will he's putting another feed sack there, so we'll have it ready for the next time we need the feed. But the birds will spread out amongst the resources here. But what we're ready to do, Jared and I have been talking about this, and I mentioned it on another video, but we're ready to give all these birds some more space, like an expansion. So basically, Jared, what did we talk about with expanding the space for them? We won't have to build more walls out of the scrap wood. We will actually, are we going to go ahead and use those crates?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jared and I talked about we'll multi-purpose our livestock crates, the yellow crates that are plastic crates that are hanging on the walls. We'll repurpose those. Those are transport crates that we haul the birds in as finished meat birds to the butcher and to the processing house. But in the meantime, we can use those as barriers instead of having to build short walls. Now the birds are big enough that they can't fit through any of the handhold gaps in the crates, so we can construct little temporary walls with the crates. So actually the 75 that's in this pen, they're gonna get like from where the camera is to over where Jared is, and those shavings bags are. So this whole space that's both brooders, these 75 birds are going to get all of that, and we're going to bring the short wall that they have like out to where this red bucket is. But we're going to construct it out of these crates. And then this group that's 225 birds, we're actually ready to let them have more room as well. This is another way we make it easier on ourselves. We don't have to take a whole bag in there. We can fill buckets, even small buckets, and pour them in there. So this group that was hatched March 12th, so they were hatched March 12th, 2025. Again, as we're recording, it's March 21st, 2025. So you can run those numbers. Their day one for the meat birds over here was March 12th. We're ready for them to have more room too. So what we're thinking is all of that space beyond their brooder in that third of the barn, we're gonna have to get all that building material out of there because it'll actually be in use with some hen houses that we're building. And we'll take this crates and we'll basically make a short wall that extends from that doorway over here to that doorway, and this 225 meat birds will have all of that. So Jared's actually, so this is how we adjust the lamps. Super simple, and that's why we like to suspend them from the ceiling. So he's actually just adjusting those down. How much did you drop them, Jared?
Probably
2 links or so?
all that. I went.
Even more?
I probably went 5 or 6.
Oh, okay. So, but that'll just help them overnight, because we had like in the 20s last night,
Yeah.
and then we had like in the 50s today. And then this is another way we encourage them to get up, bear weight on their legs, exercise, just use any kind of tool or an empty feed sack and just gently kind of agitate in the brooder and make a move. I think Jared's going to do that over there as well. He's just running it along the wall, and that's just enough. That's just enough encouragement to get them to move around. And then once they're up and they move around, they'll go eat, they'll go drink, and they'll spread out amongst their resources. This is something we had to add in today too in this pen, because these birds are getting bigger. They can shove each other into the corners. So we added this board in here to stop them from being able to push birds up into the corner. Because when you have a 90-degree corner like that, they can actually cause a bird to get pushed into that corner and they can have a suffocation of instance. Do we have what? Were you gonna?
Well, that's part of the reason why you get them up, move them around, because see that nobody was really at that feeder.
Yeah.
You get up, move them around, then they think they got to eat.
It triggers them to want to go eat. That's true story. And then they'll drink, and they usually manure while they're up, and then they'll go back over to wherever they're comfortable, and they'll lay down. But yeah, at this age, a lot of birds fit around that feeder, don't they? So, I don't have the days. Jared, do you feel like helping me? I think there's a dog at the door, isn't there?
What?
I was gonna say, do you feel like helping me with that math?
What?
March 5th to March 21st. So we're on about day 16 with this group. Okay, so Cornish rock cross meat chickens, 16 days old. And then the other group, we'll try to look over at them. The other group was hatched on March 12th. So the 12th to the 21st is they're on about day 9, right? So, there's Tanner. So I'm going to go over there and see if we can get a shot of the recording where potentially we have both flocks in the same screen. And so we're saying day 16 and day 9. Oh, Jared, that's what I was asking. Do we have any tools out here to secure this board into the corner? Yeah, I got the yep. Okay, so I was going to try to do a little bit of a close-up here. We might be able to see both groups. Yeah, it's a little darker over here on the right for you, but you can kind of get the gist of some size difference. So the birds on the left of the wall that you can see, we said are, what did we say, 16 days old? And then the birds on the right of it are like on day 9. And that's only applying to the meat birds. So 16 days old. And these meat birds 9 days.